Hey guys, one last thing I want to add to those notes where we were talking about the absolute value functions. So now that I know how h and k are going to affect what the graph looks like, I'm actually going to go ahead and attempt to plot them without having to do a input-output table like I did for the previous ones. Alright, so just thinking about how it compares to the parent function helps me to figure out where it's going to go on the graph. So I'm just going to do a couple of these without having to do an input-output table. So let's do one where I have a value that is on the outside of the absolute value bars. So let's do absolute value of x, I don't know, -4. Okay, since this is a -4 and it is on the outside of the absolute value bars, I know that it's going to look like my normal parent function, but it's going to be shifted down 4. So I'm going to go ahead and draw my, did I just bump that? No, we're good. Draw my x and y axes. Okay. So I'm going to, I know that my vertex is going to start not at the origin this time, but 4 units down. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. Then I'm going to start right there. And I know, actually I'm going to pop up to this one real quick. I know that with my parent function, it starts at the origin, then it goes -1 and up to +1, and +1, +1. So it's kind of like, how do I want to explain this? Almost like when you find slope, you know how you go up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1. That's kind of like what my absolute value parent function is doing. You go up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1. So knowing that, I can do kind of the same thing when I'm plotting one, that has shifted either up, down, or left or right. So let me do a couple on this side and a couple on that side. So up 1 over 1, all right, so this point would be at 1, -3, and that makes sense because if I plug in 1, I'd get 1 minus 4, that's -3. Up 1 over 1, so that would be 2, -2, that still makes sense, and then up 1 over 1, that would be 3, -1, we're still good. So I'm going to do pretty much the same thing, just on the other side of my vertex here. And then, oops, right about there, and right about there. So connect with a V. All right, and there you have it. Let's do one where the value is this time on the inside of the absolute value bars. Now I need a new page. Get all my stuff out of the way. There we go. Okay, so I'm just going to put B for this one, and we'll do y equals absolute value. Let's do x plus 2. Now remember, even though this is a +2, if it's on the inside of the absolute value bars, it's going to move the opposite of what you would expect it to do. So instead of moving to the right in the positive, it's going to move to the left in the negative. So I will draw my graph. Okay, so normally my vertex starts at 0, 0, but this one is going to move to the left 2 spaces, and my vertex is going to start there. So when I plot the other points, I'm going to do the same thing like I did in the other one, up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1, except this time it's going to be shifted over 2. So let me get a couple more on this side, and I know I'm going to need some more up here as well. Okay. So up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1. Need some more here too. Up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1. So there is the right side of my graph. So how many did I do? 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll do 4 over here. I should make that longer. That's okay. So up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1. Oh, my lines are a little off. That's okay. Up 1 over 1 and up 1 over 1. So there is the left, ooh, that was a bad line. Let me try that again. There we go. Alright, so now knowing, how these values affect it, you can plot your absolute value graphs and you don't even have to make an input-output table.